Oh man, do I love Monster Hunter. I started out playing Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on the PSP.
Bro, Glacial Medusa? That name goes so hard.
Made it most of the way through Village, then quit that one, played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the 3DS. Kind of got filtered by Cetus. I think I beat him once and then I basically quit that one. Then I played 4 Ultimate, got all the way to the end, beat White Fatalis, beat like an Apex Raging on a guild quest one time, and just played that game a ton.
Twinbane Twilight. That name goes so hard.
Then I played Monster Hunter Generations when it came out. I played Generations Ultimate 3 times. First time in Japanese, second 2 times in English. Then I played Monster Hunter World and Iceborne.
I'm afraid it's peak.
Then I played Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak.
I'm afraid it's good.
And then finally, Monster Hunter Wilds.
I'm afraid.
I even booted up Monster Hunter Frontier recently and started playing that.
It's okay, guys, we got the peak back.
And me actually playing these games is kind of an accomplishment for me, because usually when I think about playing a game, I consider where I am in life, consider the opportunity cost of playing that game, and I think to myself, oh man, if I boot up this video game right now, pretty sure Satan himself is gonna come out of the floorboards and call me names. But Monster Hunter just hits different, and there are plenty of game design reasons why that's the case. But I like to look at the design of a game and see if there are aspects of it I could apply to real life to get me just as motivated to do things in real life as I am to play the game. So what is it about these games? Well, let's take a look. In classic Monster Hunter games, you start out and you're not actually doing any hunting at the very beginning. You're mostly just gathering resources and exploring new areas. In several of these games, they start you off with a quest where you gotta fetch unique mushrooms. It's more about establishing your place in the world, getting familiar with areas, and finding the resources that you're going to need for the hunts later. And there's this lovely sense of peace that's established when you first start a game, and you're just going through the areas. There's barely any threats until you get to the quest where you gotta collect 3 Popo Tongues, and then Tigrex shows up and absolutely kicks your butt.
Then most of the storyline is all about the discovery of new monsters. Oh, that's a new thing. Kill it. Oh, look at the ecosystem. Kill it.
By the end of the game, you got 50 farms set up that harvest every single item you would possibly need. Your box is so chock full of items that you're just good to go, and you're just hunting.
It's sort of like the beginning of a Terraria playthrough where every upgrade is substantial and everything you find in the world can really improve your character, versus near the end where your progression is in stages based on bosses. Oh, I'm pre-Golem. Oh, I'm post-Golem. Oh, I can get this stuff from this guy and this other stuff from this other guy. And once you beat the final guy, the game's over. No more progression to be had.
But in Monster Hunter, once you beat the last guy, the game isn't over, because now you have access to all of the options, which means you can craft your own gameplay experience. How do you want to deal damage? How do you want to avoid attacks? How do you want to get your health back? There are skills you can choose that will actually change all of these things.
Waiter, yes, more immortal vampire builds, please.
Sure, I could just choose one of the pre-made sets in the game, but someone else designed that. No, I need a mixed set.
Somebody call my parole officer. I'm booting up Athena's armor set search again.
Every weapon has the possibility to absolutely dominate a hunt. It'll depend on what kind of armor skills you pair with that weapon. But once you've made that plan, you actually make the armor set, the planning stage is over. And now you have to actually execute it. There's strategy and then there's execution. It engages my mind and then it engages my body. In Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, I made an evade lancing set, brought it out into the field, and then just realized I sucked ass at the game. Like, I could not evade an attack to save my life. But that's the thing, if you can't execute on your plan, that's just another gap that you can fill, and you can reap the rewards of getting better at that portion of the game.
Side note, in these modern games, they've added so much to each weapon that sometimes it actually starts to hurt. Like, instead of thinking, oh wow, I can do all these things, I'm thinking, wow, everything that I am doing is incredibly suboptimal, and I'm playing this entirely wrong. I gotta switch back to sword and shield or hammer just to simplify things. Like, I've made a set that boosts my damage when I evade through stuff, but now I've added another piece to my mental stack, which is already freaking out because the bow can shoot like 5 different shot types at any given moment.
And all games have some kind of balance between strategy and execution, but I love how in Monster Hunter, your strategy actually affects the requirements of your execution. All right, let's bring this to real life. I'm a software developer, so my daily job at work is just mental. I do not engage my body at all. I'm just typing on a keyboard all day. But then after work, I go to the gym, and that is entirely physical. I don't have to make any meaningful decisions because I've already got my plans. I literally just have to do the reps. Both of these are missing one half of that satisfying experience that engages both. So how can we engage both in real life? Well, dang it, this is just sports. Normal people do this all the time. Or better yet, just like real hunting in real life, you know? Okay, but playing Monster Hunter is way easier than getting into a sport or going hunting, so let's lower the barrier of entry a little bit. I present to you the no tent camping trip. You book a campsite for one night, you can bring tarps, tools, but you cannot bring a tent. And you just have to build some kind of shelter and then sleep in it. Some friends and I have actually been doing this for the past couple years. The first time was actually an accident because we didn't bring a big enough tent for all of us, so two of us ended up just building some shelters. The second time, we got rained on. We couldn't cook any food. Two of our shelters failed and two of us ended up sleeping in the car. If you think about it, we carted. Quest failed. Like, we did not complete the mission. We gotta prepare better this year. In real life, you need an adversary. Some level of danger, some kind of consequence that'll come into play, even if that's just nature itself. Like, we just had to bring what we had, do our best to make the shelters, and then sleep with the consequences. All right, but the camping example is still significantly difficult, takes a lot of effort, and you can't do it very often. So, what is a hunt that you could complete in a weekend? What is an adversary that you could create for yourself and defeat within like a day? Well, an easy one is to just improve your immediate environment. This one is less like a hunt and more like a gathering quest or an egg quest. It's a bit of a chore. You're just taking what you can control immediately and making it better. Just today, we just took a bunch of garbage out of our house and are getting some people to just throw it in the trash for us. That's a big help. It's sort of the preparation that you need to do the larger hunts later on. It could also mean finding a way to improve the people that you're spending time with. Hunting in Monster Hunter is always more fun when you do it with a group of friends, especially playing through the whole game, getting through all the ranks together. Just having that alignment on the same goal is really very motivating. You could also spend time working towards a specific longer-term goal, but you have to break off a small piece of it. All hunts have a time limit. You can't be on the hunt forever, so you need something that you can start at the beginning and then finish within the span of a day. For me, actually, my hunt was writing the script for this video while taking a walk for 2 hours. For me, making videos is a bit of an adversary because it's a decent bit of work, but I also have to deal with the doubt and keep myself convinced that it'll actually be worthwhile to make the video. Now, I'm not saying to just fill every weekend with chores. You want it to be something that's both physically and mentally engaging. And at the end of it, you want some quest rewards, right? You can always give yourself a small reward after you finish an activity if you need that extra little boost of motivation. But ideally, you want the activity itself to give you materials that would lead to you unlocking new armor skills. So far, I've been talking about these concrete monsters that you can hunt, right? But let's think a little more long-term and get a little bit more abstract. Here are some examples.
Vanity, the fear of failure that convinces you not to try. You can only cart once against this monster because failing once means giving up entirely.
To fight it, you must show your imperfect self to the world.
Grants the skills Guts and Fortify. Weakness. When you're weak, you have no agency. Others will choose for you, and you'll become a victim. Inflicts defense down. Fight it through regular strength training. Grants attack up, defense up, and flinch free. Addiction. Something is wrong, but you won't change it because you have an alternative to turn to. But this alternative is poison. Fight it by avoiding it and its environment at all costs. Grants Constitution, Marathon Runner, and Stamina Surge. Despair. So you've thought things through and come to the conclusion that there's nothing you can do. This is a lie. Inflicts paralysis and stamina drain. Fight it by never giving up. Grants heroics and latent power. Propaganda. Known for its loud roars, it's meant to distract you from your purpose and summon despair into the hunt. Fight it by telling the truth and embodying it into your behavior. Grants earplugs, focus, and critical eye. Pride. The voice that tells you that I must do this myself. Due to its extremely large pool of health, to defeat it, you will have to rely on a team of fellow hunters. Grants wide range and Horn Maestro.
It's funny because when you think about it, you can't actually achieve these skills without hunting these adversaries. Another thing in Monster Hunter that appeals to me is the idea that whatever set I make is somehow going to be unique. And this is actually hard to find nowadays because everyone has access to the same tools in-game. So there's always going to be one guy who does the math and finds out the optimal set. And I don't find it nearly as fun just copying what someone else came up with. Actually, in Monster Hunter Rise, my brother came up with this unique armor set for the hunting horn that focused entirely on this one move where you lay an egg. And the egg ignores hit zone values. It does a ton of damage because of the Frostcraft stuff. And like, oh yeah, some nerd's gonna look at it and be like, actually, that's not optimal. You should be using... Shut your damn mouth. Have you considered that it's incredibly funny? In real life, all of our experiences are unique, but with the internet, it kind of feels like this isn't the case. Because you can think of almost anything you want to achieve, and someone else has done something at least similar already. This is actually a problem I encounter sometimes. Sometimes I'm actually kind of afraid to consume certain content or play a certain game because it's something that I wish that I had made, and the fact that someone else already made it and already did so much of a better job is like, ugh. Why do I have to compete with everything that already exists?
This feeling makes me want to shrink my world, at least to a mentally manageable size. If you look at the villages in these games, they're all these small communities, and the quests you're going on are for specific people in the village. Like, you know who they are. We can't conceptualize things at the scale of like a city. Oh, and Poke Village theme, it's just the comfiest thing of all time. And this mysterious giant sword is more interesting than the entire story of Wilds. What else do all these villages have? A gathering hub, a place specifically meant for hunters to gather with other hunters and go on quests together. I think having a regular social gathering place is extremely important, and if you can't find one that appeals to you, well, maybe you have to make it.
But to get back to the idea of finding something to hunt, I saw a video about the Bible story of Jacob and how he had to wrestle with the angel. And I feel like this is what we have to do. We have to find angels to wrestle. We have to develop the skills that we need. And if we don't do any of this, if we just play the video game, Satan's gonna come out of the floorboards and call you names.